Well, good afternoon, brothers and sisters. Alive, dwelling in the garden, Saigon, it's now. Welcome to another episode of the Stickman Show. Today's topic, the within versus the without. Wisdom, traditions, and conceptual map. They call me Rodney Josephson, also the Stickman. And just to remind you, it's turtle time. Yeah, turtle time. It's always now. Before we get rushing into it, just relax. You know, we've got the beautiful garden here. Flowers are blooming. Rose bush. Or maybe it's a rose bush, I don't know. It is what it is. It is what it is. I'm trying not to define things. It's life, is what it is. So let's go ahead and dig into it, shall we? Oh, I forgot. Like and subscribe. It helps me out, it helps you out. It helps me to, continue doing these things, I guess. So, why not? Thank you in advance. Okay, so let's get into this. Internal, external. Of course, there's a crossing there, isn't there? The within, the without. This gets into the projection, reflection, consequence, law of consequences, and consciousness. How to perceive things. We have. I have four elements here, four topics. I have. Whoops! How did that get wiped off? Gotta fix that. Religion, realignment, philosophy, esotericism, and spirituality. The all. Different concepts, different ideas, just explaining the same thing. That's what it is, basically. Now, going over to this side, we have, for example, Taoism, Buddhism, Hinduism, Christianity, etc., etc. We have, of course, those are the so-called religions and esoteric ideas, even philosophies, explaining philosophy. Oh, sorry, spirituality. Then we have, so-called men or people, man. We have like Carl Jung's, the Alan Watts of the world, and so on. Then we have, to explain, let's say, the Carl Jung's and Alan Watts. If you know their backgrounds, they're Carl Jung is or was, no one died, was a famous psychologist. So he's studying the others, mainly studying others. Many years of studying someone else, the external world. Yes, he did start to study himself after he had his issues, but mainly he was studying the external. Many, 60 years, or however long he was doing it, at least 60 years. Hundreds and thousands, hundreds and hundreds of patients. Then we have the Alan Watts of the world. He was, I think, an ordained priest or whatever, and did that Again, that's the external. It's the world with a system that you are involved in, that you go through a process in the external world and attempting to, let's say, work in it and function with those systems or things that were given to you in the external world. In other words, it's like reading a book but not writing the book. So they were reading books, but they weren't really writing the book from inherently internal knowing, the knowing, right? So they've spent many decades analyzing external things, ideas, philosophies, behaviors, and so on, to an attempt to come to a conclusion. Now there's a third part of this. We have the ones that didn't study or get involved in any of that. They didn't analyze people, they didn't go to a Buddhist temple and hang out with the monks for 10 years or whatever. They didn't do that. So my experience, again, my experience is I didn't do that. I was just, I was lucky or unlucky, however you want to think about it. I was put, my role or my awakening was, they call it the Kundalini awakening, or the so-called Christ consciousness, or the oil, whatever, the anointing by divine right, which everyone does experience that, or will experience that, or has experienced that. So I didn't need to go to a Buddhist temple. I didn't need to study the Bible. I didn't need to be an ordained priest in this lifetime. Maybe I was in another lifetime. I don't know. Or I don't remember. Considering that all is one and one is all, everything and everyone is just experiencing itself from a different perspective. Everything is you pushed out, experiencing it at that level, at that time. And it is what it is. So I drew a lotus. This is the lotus flower. Isn't that beautiful? My artistic skills are getting better. Not just plain stickman, now we're getting colors. And anyway, lotus plant. We got the little pond here, and new lotuses coming up, and what do they call those? Clouds in the sky. We have the sun. So what do we have here? We have the elements, 4 elements. We have water. Alan Watts talks about being the water flow. We have the air. We have the light. And we have the earth. The earth is, of course, theoretically in all of this. I mean, there's elements of earth and everything. So we have the 4 elements. And, of course, we have the 5th one, life. Consciousness. Okay, if one of these didn't exist, if there was no air, that wouldn't be there, would there? If there was no light, that wouldn't be there. If there was no water, that wouldn't be there. They all are there. They have to be there. So to say that one is better than another is, ludicrous, ridiculous. So this is suggesting that all is one and one is all. Now I drew the pyramid here. Again, I've done this before in other videos. The pyramid represents from a geometric or numerology perspective. You have 4 seasons, 3 months, and the peak. So 3, 3, 3, that's 12 plus 1 is 13. We have the 4 elements, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4 seasons, 4 elements, 13 moon months, 28 days. Of course, there's the sun, but you must have balance. You must have both to know the other exist. So 1 plus 3 equals 4. 3 times 4 equals 12. 12 equals 3 plus 1. So 1 plus 2 is 3, plus 1 is 4. Again, this is just representing all the elements are together as one. And so whether it's 1 or whether it's 4 elements or 12 so-called lunar months, or 13 lunar months, it also comes up to the same idea. It all comes back together, is what I'm trying to say. Now, for there to be life, there must be death. So we go up to this part now. Light, dark. Remember the cycles here. Light, dark, breath. Inhale, exhale. Life, death. Life, death. It's all the same thing. There's no difference. There will be, of course, in the physical sense, there will be a difference, because ultimately when you die, you die. But you die, your cells are dying all the time, and you're rebirthing. They're being rejuvenated every so often, depending on what part of the body we're talking about. And so everyone is dying and living, or rebirthing, or however you would like to think about it, continuously, changing form continuously. So we have sleep, awake, dreaming. So when you can get the idea of this whole thing, it's all just a dream. We're not just water, like Alan Watts is suggesting metaphorically. We are all the elements plus life. So remember, the air, the water, the light, the earth, and life. And this is a metaphor. Geometry, numerology, metaphor, symbology, or whatever. It's all very simplified. So, again, you have people that study it from the outside. You have people that have learned it from the inside. And the ones that learn it from the inside get this whole idea, because the so-called the door has opened to wisdom and discernment. To you're told that in your so-called dreams, or from the messengers that come, and that's the inner knowing. Consciousness, you're aware and conscious of this. So everything is a representation of itself in a different form. Now the Western world may disagree with that, because they like separation and objectified things. I'm me and I'm not you, brother. I'm white and you're black. This nonsense. So that's what it is. What it is. Now I see it differently, obviously. So you can be You are the lotus if you want to be the lotus, but you need the water, you need the air, you need the sun, and the earth. I mean, you can be the petal, but you remember, you're connected to the rest of the plant too, aren't you? You can be the leaf. You can be the little bud in the middle. But remember, you're divinely whole, perfect and complete of the whole flower, if we use this as a metaphor, which is comprised of all the other elements for it to be there, including life, consciousness, and death. So I'm going to wrap it up on that. The Stickman Show. I'm helping the Stickman out because he can't quite talk, just to deliver the message. Religion means realign back to your true origin. Be your true self, whatever that may be, and admit it. Forget what the external says. And do what you do, and you get what you get, brothers and sisters. So I'm going to leave it there. When you begin to figure all this out, it's back and forth, back and forth. It's not easy, but it's easy. It's like pretty much anything. But be still and know and relax. And finally, you're there. That's it. You're there. Whatever that means. I'm here. That's all it is. Glamorous? I don't know. It is what it is, that's all. So, enjoy it. There are many things to explore and blossom. Always something new popping up. And that's what I found out. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe in my next life I'll be Carl Jung and studying it for 80 years. This thing I learned in just a couple of years. Or actually not that long. But again, I don't know everything. I necessarily... will I ever know? Who knows? The all. So, you have a good day, brothers and sisters, alive, dwelling in the Sargon, dwelling in the garden, Saigon. Remember to like and subscribe. It's now. Ciao.